Hello everyone, and welcome to Radio WhoPoo, a part of the WhoPoo Wildlife App family. This video is about the old Hollywood romance of Ginger Rogers and Howard Hughes. Virginia Catherine McMath was born on July 16, 1911 in Independence, Missouri, as the only child of Leila Owens, who was a hard-working secretary and newspaper reporter. Her father was William McMath, who eventually tried to kidnap Ginger twice after his separation from her mother. Despite this, Ginger was very close to her grandmother and grandfather on her mother's side, as well as her cousins. She was a happy child and won a Charleston dancing competition when she was 14 years old in 1925. This enabled her to travel on the Orpheum circuit, and so she got her start in vaudeville. She was a very hard-working performer, and her mother booked additional acts as well as accompanied her on her gigs. While the term stage mother is thrown around today, Ginger legitimately loved her mother, and the two lived together for decades. Ginger's dancing was so good, she was hired to star on Broadway by the Gershwins. This turned into a Paramount Studios contract, and then she eventually moved to RKO. While known primarily today for her partnership with dancer Fred Astaire, by the time the two were paired in 1933, Ginger had starred in over 20 films. Her unique talent as a dancer, as well as a comic actress, earned her $40,000 every 2 weeks. In 1934, Ginger married All Quiet on the Western Front star Lou Ayres. Lou's portrayal of a World War I soldier won her over when she saw the film. Years later, the two married, and it was blissful for a little while. When they divorced, the reasons cited were that Ginger spent too much time with her mother even though she and Lou were living in their own home, and that Lou was not fulfilling Ginger's idea of a husband by making less money than she was at the time. Lou allegedly kicked her out of her own home. By 1940, the 6-year marriage had come to an end. Years later, Ginger would recall that Lou was her true love, and she missed him the most out of her 5 husbands. Kicking around Hollywood at the time was Howard Hughes of Hell's Angels fame. This 1930 American pre-code film redefined the action film genre with impressive flight scenes and Hughes creating a heroine out of Jean Harlow. Hughes spared no expense on this epic war film, and production took 3 years and $2.8 million, money that was not recouped. However, Hughes enjoyed producing and directing the film and remained in Hollywood for years afterwards. Hughes was not a native Californian and was born in Houston, Texas in 1905. He was a proud Texan and married Ella Botts Rice of Rice University family fame in 1925. Ella accompanied Hughes to Los Angeles and stayed with him until 1929, when she moved to Houston and filed for divorce. Hughes showed interest in RKO companies, which were started by JFK's father, Joseph Kennedy. Hughes' company, the Hughes Tool Company, started moving into the film industry and obtained partial ownership of the RKO companies, including RKO Pictures, RKO Studios, RKO Theaters, and the RKO Radio Network. In 1940, Ginger had just been divorced and had finished starring in an RKO Radio Pictures film, Lucky Partners. She saw Howard Hughes at a dinner and was enchanted by his secret smile. The two were a fast match. While Ginger was born in the Midwest, from the age of 9 onwards, she was raised in Fort Worth, Texas. Hughes, as a Texan, appreciated this. The two enjoyed outdoor activities such as golf and sailing. Ginger recalled later that Howard Hughes' golf swing was enviable. He would often call her mother early in the morning to request to take Ginger out on dates. Ginger's mother approved of Howard and so let her daughter go. Dates of the two were very romantic. Often, Howard would call up and ask to take Ginger sailing, or he would ask her to get ready for a flight and would fly her to San Francisco for lunch. Religion was another way the two bonded. Ginger was a strong Christian Scientist, and Hughes dedicated the majority of his estate to charity after spending time with Mormons before his death. By March 1940, the two were engaged, with Ginger presented with a 5-carat square-cut emerald engagement ring. Unfortunately, Howard was not being faithful to Ginger. She received a phone call from writer Alden Nash that Hughes was cheating on her with an actress that lived near Nash's home. Ginger was distraught, cried the entire day, and eventually word got back to Hughes. Hughes crashed his car and ended up in the hospital. Howard's assistant telephoned Ginger to visit Howard in the hospital, where he was bandaged up and had lacerations on his face. Ginger did so and returned all of the jewelry Howard had given her over a 15-month period, including the engagement ring. According to his assistant, Howard cried when Ginger left the hospital. Ginger was broken up about the broken engagement and bought 1,800 acres of land in the Rogue River Valley of Oregon to establish a dairy farm. Her business sense was very acute, and if she had stayed with Howard Hughes, who knows what they could have turned the Hughes Tool Company into. While Ginger would go on to marry different men after her breakup with Hughes, she never forgot the high-flying life with Howard Hughes. She was a remarkable woman who loved life and never took very much seriously, allowing her to be pleasant, fun, and engaging with everyone she met. She was one of Hollywood's top stars for very good reason. While Ginger is remembered primarily today for her excellent films with Fred Astaire, such as Top Hat, Swing Time, and The Gay Divorcee, she was a very accomplished comic actress in her own right and won many awards.